I'm just here, man. Here
We
to chop it
here.
up with y'all.
We here. We live. We here. We live. So tell us, just introduce yourself one more time for the people who don't know you. Tell us where we could find you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do. Cause not everybody gets to pull up to the kingdom. It's not, this is real shit right here. So tell us tell us a little bit about who you are.
So my name's Q. I live in Oklahoma City. I'm a barber. I've been a barber for about 9 years. I'm an Army vet, father of four. Um,
Shout out to the army.
Huge battle rap fan. I've been a battle rap fan since '98.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, like before 106 and Park, like when Fight Club used to come on TV. Smack DVD, Too Raw for the Streets, like all of that.
Oh, so this is like OG status right here. Q is not just your regular battle rap fan, y'all.
Nah, like I remember watching Serious Jones and Math and Iron, all of that. Like I remember when Mook and Lux came out way back in the day. I remember watching Reed. We used to talk about it at school.
Wow, okay,
Like
so that's real shit right there.
huge battle rap fan. It's the purest form of hip hop to me. I think the best lyricists come from battle rap
Mm.
by far. Because not everybody can do this, but everybody can sort of make music. Like if you battle rap, you can make music, but if you make music, you can't battle rap. You know what I'm
Talk
saying?
that
This is
shit. That's the major difference that I love about that. You know what's funny? I've been hearing that a lot these last couple days. Like, battle rap is the purest form of hip hop, and I think that's why I'm just such a battle rap fan. Because I can come into this arena and I'm just gonna get quality. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get so much
yeah,
quality in these bars. So that's dope. That's dope. I didn't know you were a OG battle rap fan. So salute to you.
hell yeah,
If
hell
y'all
yeah.
in here, make sure you have talk to me. You have YouTube, you have Twitter.
I
Where can
have a
we
YouTube
find you?
channel. I have not started messing with it yet. I'm still getting the whole streaming thing down. Uh, I got Twitter, the barber that knows bars. Quality by Q is the actual handle. My Instagram is Quality by Quentin, all one word. QUINTEN. Let's see.
All right, so you
Caffeine,
are
always in profit.
yeah, I was about to say you're on caffeine and you're gonna be pretty much fucking with caffeine pretty heavy soon because we have a class to do.
Absolutely.
For all of y'all that don't know, I'm doing level one OBS training basically so you could jump on here on caffeine and do your thing like we're doing right here. Get your stream going, get your brand going, you know. So all right, so this is fire because that means that I'm not talking to somebody who's just like caffeine fan. We got a little
Nah.
bit of OG status in here. So let's get into this Ultimate Madness 4 event that we just
Yeah.
came off of.
Yeah.
How you feeling? Well, let me ask you. Do you go by always Profit or Q? What do you go by?
I go by either Q or Profit.
Q or Profit? Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Obviously, you guys know I love the name. It's Queen Profit. It's Profit. You already know. Like, come on. Okay, dope, dope. So Profit. I'm gonna address you as Profit King. So, like I said, I was so hyped for this, but I'm gonna get into that in a second. Talk to me. How did you feel about this Ultimate Madness 4 tournament that we just got off of? What are your thoughts?
All right. So overall, scale of 1 to 10, I'm a I'm gonna give it a 7.
7. Okay.
And it's not one battle I didn't care for, and the battle that I did really care for didn't happen. So I'm docking it for
Okay,
that.
so let's
You
talk about
know,
that for a second because I feel the same way. For those who don't know, and I'm gonna throw this up probably on my channel soon. What battle was it that did not happen for those?
next verse, real name Brandon. Damn it. We, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people say, "Oh, we need that one." There are very few battles that you need as far as 2021 goes, and this was one of them. Like, we really needed one. We needed to see real name Brandon because we didn't see in the last round.
Okay.
You know.
Now let's talk about that for a second because that was crazy, and that's why this is so impactful right here. And this is kind of crazy that this happened because if you guys have been paying attention, real name Brandon could not battle last week because of some discrepancies with his opponent.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't show up. Okay, cool. Now here we are a week later. I didn't watch the face-offs. Did you watch the face-offs, Prophet?
I did. I love them.
Okay.
I love face-offs.
Okay. You love face-offs.
I love face-offs.
Can we get into that for a second? Because I'm not too much of a fan of face-offs. Why do you love face-offs?
I love the face-offs because the way I become a fan of a battle rapper is based on your personality. It's not so much your material, it's how were you outside of the ring, like your promo, your shit talking, your overall demeanor, like how do you deal with social media? Do you keep yourself relevant? You know what I'm saying? Like when you show up, like is your material backing what the face-offs are? Like it's an energy thing for me. It's a form of presence. It's an attribute in itself. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, they won the face-off." It does count because it gives that person the edge going into the battle because it's like, oh, they're on their shit. Like this motherfucker's talking to them crazy right now. Fight back. Like, so to me, I'm like, hey, I think this person might kick your ass tomorrow.
That's interesting. I really like that. I never thought of it like that. Like I'm one of those people. Okay, it's two sides for me, right? As I get my lighter. It's two sides for me. I'm not a fan of face-offs because once upon a time, I'm not going to confirm or deny this, but I heard that you don't get paid for face-offs.
No, that's not true.
That's maybe now, but once upon a time.
No. Back then,
Once upon a time, you did not get paid for face-offs. So, I used to feel like, damn, I can't really bank on a face-off because everybody's not going to come in there with that same thought process, you know, that you just said. Like, see, that I like that because I didn't notice some fans think that way. Like, look, I want to see in the face-offs, can you give me that, okay? So, that's that. But now, fast forward where we are now, like you said, they are getting paid for face-offs. So, here's my thing about the face-offs. I'm going to play devil's advocate because in a face-off, if you know what you're doing, you can sway the battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can you can grab that thing by the face-off, like, and
absolutely.
go crazy. But on the other end, is that, what am I trying to say? Is that like battle rap respected? You know what I'm trying to say? Like to sway from the face-off?
What we have to remember is that battle rap is a business, okay? What we as consumers are doing is we're taking in content from one angle. We're getting the performance. We don't, as much as we love to speculate as fans or analysts or whatever, you know, people like to associate us as, we are still outside of the room when backroom discussions are taking place. Like we don't know the details of the contracts. We don't know the details of how URL really works. We like to think we do because we've been fans for 11 years.
Right.
But that doesn't, like, we're none the wiser. Me watching URL since Smack, like since Math and Rex being the first battle to now, doesn't make me any smarter than the person that started watching battle rap last year as far as the business side of URL. We don't know who books. We say, yeah, Beasley books. No one's ever seen Chico. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just see Smack, we see Beasley, and we know that they're the faces of the brand, but we don't know everybody on the staff. We don't know where the money comes from. We don't know the sponsorships. We don't know how people are getting paid. We don't know if they're getting money from the Caffeine stream itself. We don't know if there's endorsements if the battle rappers have to do a certain percentage of marketing or bringing in a sponsor. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how much battle rappers are getting paid. Other than Surf, Surf tells us that each battle is 25,000 or 30,000.
Right.
You know, so but that's part of his image and part of his brand,
Right.
and that's as much as we know. So we have to understand it's a business. Like these face-offs, they do now matter. If you do not show up, you do get docked
Mm.
because it's in the contract.
Okay, so face-offs definitely matter now. Okay, so,
Yeah, well,
so
it was said. I want to say about maybe 2 years ago that Smack was like, it's in the contract. Even ARP says it. It's in the contract. Like
so it's
you know,
in the
you don't
contract
show
to
up.
show up to your face-off.
Yeah, if you don't show up, you're going to be docked a certain percentage of your fee
Right.
because you're not going through the obligations of this contract. It's just like how we always complain about people. Like, all right, he's one of my all-time favorites, but I'm gonna use him as an example. Surf. He doesn't have 3 full rounds all the time, right? And we get mad about that. Or Twerk, somebody who shows up unprepared. We're like, oh man, you're just stealing deposits, da 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 da. But do we know that these people don't get their full backhand if you fuck up on this stage?
Right. Oh, I like that. I like that. So you know what? I like that a lot because it's like, stop worrying about their fuck ups because they're gonna get docked on it anyway. So okay, so since you saw the face off, this is why I'm a little bit confused, and I saw this on Twitter. I'm really wondering why in the world did this real name Brandon versus next battle not go down? Like what? I don't see. And you know what? As fans, I feel like this is where we kind of like it's a little bit disrespectful to us. Like with all
Absolutely.
this rescheduling, all this postponing, it's like, damn, we're expecting to see certain things. And if he wouldn't have been at the face-offs, I wouldn't be complaining. But in 24 hours, what could happen that you say, you know what? I can't do this.
Honestly, I would say something grave happened to someone's side of the family. That's usually the first thing that comes to my mind because that's kind of the only reason why battle rappers are like, hey, I can't do it because somebody has passed.
Right.
I hope that's not the case because death is hard, and I would hate, for that to be the reason as to, for a performance not happening because just as excited as we are, so are the battlers.
Yeah.
Because they love to get up there and perform. Like this is their passion. We get to view them at their place of peace. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where people come to vent before they make a bad decision. This is where some people get their past transgressions off, from things that they've been through. Like this is their therapy for some people. So for us to be able to witness this, we get excited just as the battlers do. Now what is unfortunate is the fact that it didn't happen. And I wanted to definitely bring this up. I watched a video on Twitter that Saga had posted, and he said MVP and True Foe happened tonight, right? But real name Brandon and Next didn't. They know who they're battling at Summer Madness. MVP has no clue who he's battling because the battle didn't happen. So they have 5 weeks. They have time to prep for him because their rounds for each other are already done. You know what I mean? So that's a huge disadvantage. Now,
huge, because this is huge. This is like breaking news right here, Prophet. Like what you're saying, obviously people are going to come to figure that out over time, but this right here is what fucks it up and what's going to make this super, because if you think about it, like you said, real name Brandon is already locked in for his rounds. Now, if he comes that day, it's like, bro, he's going to come on damn near perfect with all that prep time. They're both, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is where that weird narrative, and I hate to use that word, but this pushing people shit. Like, y'all not making the playing field leveled for everyone. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't care if it wasn't for money. Like, this money could change some people's lives. And to be honest, at this point where URL is, I feel like all these, like you said, we don't know how much they get paid, but they should be getting paid at this point. But I really, really like that point that you made, Prophet, because that's what I was thinking about. Like, damn, this is now a little bit awkward and putting certain people ahead of the game.
But another way to look at it is, remember, Real Name Brandon has not rapped since the beginning of this tournament. He's fresher than anybody.
You think he's gonna be a little rusty?
Not at all.
No?
He has had time. Here's the thing. They both knew that they were going to battle each other. They just had to get the 2 preliminaries out of the way.
Right.
Real Name Brandon had a bye week. Next, made light work of his situation. And then then they get locked in, and they had said it previous to them actually getting locked in. I'll see you in the finals. So we already knew, just by the matchups alone, we knew that Next and Real Name Brandon had to be the finals unless one of them fucked up. That was it. I'm sorry. None of their opponents were going to beat them.
Yeah.
Swervo was not going to win. Who did Next
Once
battle
Elijah didn't get past him, I knew that was it.
Yeah, he had a cakewalk because Elijah was the biggest powerhouse on that side of the bracket in the first round. He was like, look, this is the motherfucker y'all got a problem with. If Next doesn't clear him, Elijah Straight wins this tournament.
Right. Right.
Elijah Straight doesn't win. Next is definitely seeing Real Name Brandon because that was going to be Elijah Straight's opponent.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, you know,
We're gonna have to start getting some bets in on these tournaments because shit, if we predicted it like this is crazy. But okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Well. Let me ask you this. If the battle would have went down, who you got?
Real Name Brandon by far. Real Name Brandon writes circles around Next.
Let me ask you one more thing though. That's you saying that, okay. Do you think the judges would have felt the same? Do you think the judges would have gave it to him?
Yeah, I do. When you watch a Next battle, you've got to, one, take the crowd out of it. Sure.
Or take the gas out of it, whichever one you want to say. Okay, go ahead.
Like, remove the crowd completely and heighten your level of expectation for material as a fan, not for him, just as an overall fan of the culture. Make everybody go to that level because you guys have had this Caffeine era where we're supposed to hear fire material.
Britt say, wow, what's up, girl?
What's good, Britt?
What's going on, Queen?
Just because the crowds are coming back, that doesn't mean we get to dumb down our expectations.
Right.
And just take a simple bar and be like, oh my God, that was fire, when all last year we were expecting you to have a certain standard. We saw daylight in a small room, so now we're expecting nothing less than that type of Tay-Rock or that type of K-Shine versus Chess, or you know what I'm saying?
Hold on a second.
I don't think Next I don't think he punches better consistently than Real Name Brandon. Like, he has haymakers.
Right.
But as far as, like, his setups aren't crazy. Like, Real Name's build-ups can get crazy.
Yeah.
And then the punch, like, we jump early, and then the punch comes, and it's like, shit.
So you feel like the material just outweighed, like, so what you're saying, you feel like Real Name Brandon, the way he raps, the material is heavier, the way his setups are. Removing the gas, removing the crowd. If you're it's almost like I tell people, if you're trying to figure out who won a battle, go back, watch the battle, close your eyes, don't watch it. Just listen. Mm-hmm. Just listen. And that's kind of but you know what? See, here's the thing. I don't think that's where battle rap is anymore, though. Because if they want the show, like you said, this is a business. So I feel like when people battle Next, if they're not outperforming him, they're not going to win.
If you're not waving your arms as much as him, then yeah. But I'll say this. Next Next doesn't have a battle, or there isn't a battle that you can put next in that will ever give you the Av versus Rum Nitty feel. I get that same feeling with Real Name Brandon versus Fonz.
But can you say that a lot of people compared Next to Diddy?
The only Nitty comparison that you can use is Elijah Straight. If you watched Elijah Straight in tonight's performance, the way that he was standing and the way that he would push down and lift, and it was like watching Rum Nitty all over again. Mm. It is the exact. He has copied him bit for bit. Next is just a high energy person. Like Next is more of a. He's a performer. He's loud and aggressive and physical, like how K Shine is.
Next, you talking about?
Yeah, like Next is an overwhelming energy because he moves all over the place and he bumps you and he's got that K Shine like shit, like fuck, he's everywhere.
See, and that's why I feel like it's kind of funny when the leagues play these rescheduling and we're gonna do this later because it's like a lot of people are tuned in to see specific people.
Oh yeah,
you gotta give
sure.
the people what they need, what they want. Okay, so Next versus Real Name Brandon, you gave it to Real Name Brandon. I feel like the real winner would have been Real Name Brandon, but I feel like Next would have took the battle. I feel like the judges would have gave it to Next. That's just me personally though. But okay, so let's talk about the MVP and Truffaut, because that was a heavy Cloudy Lungs, I see you. That was a heavy battle, I feel like, to call. That was heavy.
I'm gonna be honest. As always, I'm always be honest with this sport because I love it so much. MVP cleared that objective. It wasn't that wasn't difficult. That was a very underwhelming Truffaut. The first round, I was like, all right.
Okay, it was. All right, yep.
Like, I was like, okay, we got something. His third was a lot of filler.
Let's talk. Okay. Yeah.
His third was a lot of filler. And his second, I was like, all right, MVP was taking off every time. And you could tell, like, the word we like to use in battle rap is optics. Mm-hmm. There's a height difference between them, a significant height difference. The way that MVP rapped, he made that shit balanced.
I like that. Because I feel, who I feel like does that? JC.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck how small JC is. When he raps, you gonna look smaller than him.
It's like, damn, this nigga is like 6'9". Like, he's talking to me right now. like that's how MVP was treating that battle. It was like, you the bro, but he was poking them all in the chest and shit. I'm just like, man, that looks crazy right now. And it makes the material, it gives the material that extra push to where it's like, man, because the delivery is so powerful. Like, I know my shit and I know my shit's better than yours.
Yep.
Like,
hold on a second. I want to put your your at name on the stream. Can you spell it for me?
Always with a Z. In profit as in profitable.
All right.
Like N is IN.
Right. Yep. I see it in your name on Caffeine. I just want to throw that up there. Make sure the people know who you are. If you guys just got in here, we are chopping this up. We're basically going over the UM4 card that just went down. Y'all already know it's Queen Prophet. We in the kingdom. We chilling, chopping this up. But yeah, let me just pull this back up. Bong, there we go. Okay, so yeah, I definitely agree, man. I cannot argue that. I don't know what. I think Truffaut was feeling the fatigue of the tournament. At this point, and it sucks because although I did feel the MVP did good, for some reason I kind of just felt like Truffaut deserved it more. Like he deserves this spot more. Like he needed to get a little bit further in this. So
I
yeah.
disagree.
Truffaut,
I don't think Truffaut needed to be in this tournament.
Really? Truffaut has everything, and he don't have it too much.
Like, we forget that Truffaut has been on URL cards. He's not new.
He's not. He's not.
He was on Survivor Series, and he had one of the best battles on Survivor Series. It was him and Jay Kruger, if I'm not mistaken.
So do you feel like he just should have been ready?
I just feel like Truffaut honestly did not belong in the tournament. To me, he's ahead of them because he's been around longer. Like, we've seen your URL material already. Why are you battling these new guys? Like, why are we allowing this?
Control your stock.
Yeah, like we're not checking these niggas at the door properly. Like, we're just claiming people are new people.
Right.
Because the caffeine era and the app era is their first time seeing them. Like, for those who have not been around since YouTube was uploading battles round by round, welcome to Battle Rap.
In case you didn't know, little battle rap history fact brought to you by Queen Prophet, Ed Prophet. You used to have to watch battles round by round. So you see how you get a battle, the whole battle now? No. Today, Saturday, August 21st, 2021, it would be round 1, MVP Truffaut dropping. Then you would have to wait for the next round. That's why battle rap is so heavy and impactful, because where we came from, it was a place of substance, material, time. Like, yeah, it's a battle, but you had to patiently digest material because you had no other choice. It was round by round. You understand what I'm saying? So for a lot of us, like I said, this always in profit is not new to this. He knows already. So it's a little history fact.
We have earned this. Y'all are spoiled. Like, we deserve this free life. I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. Ooh. Those who have been around since the beginning, we deserve free motherfucking URL app memberships.
Ooh,
like, I'm sorry. If you don't remember Big T and Surf happening, like, if you weren't there for Verse and Jin, you have to pay. Like, if you wasn't there for Rex and Uncasa,
Jin was killing shit.
J Mills and Sire Castro, like, that's when we
Rex
and Sugar.
What? Like, he said I get more pussy than maxi pads.
Like,
he said when I go to the lot, I'm trying to pick which whip should I cop. Like, should I go with Midnight Blue or Light Apricot? What?
Like, if y'all wasn't there for that,
what?
Y'all got to pay that $7.99.
He said, "Big, am I trouble or what?"
What?
Y'all, that's where that comes from. When y'all see, man, he's going crazy right now.
That's where battle rap was born at. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you guys are able to argue now is the WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is wrestling now because it was so gritty back then. You had to be nice. Fuck popularity. You had to have bars. Like, and how we used to upload shit round by round. Niggas would argue that one round for weeks. And when the next one came out, we watched that one a couple times. We watch it together. We watch it separately. We jotting shit down. We rapping it. We like da-da-da-da. And then we argue that shit.
Right.
And then, like, it would take us a couple months to have a winner for a battle.
Do you feel like the tournament is a good example of that? Because eventually, like we saw today with this MVP and Truffaut, you have to prove your pen against the test of time in a tournament. It's not about whether you can rap, because we know you can rap. Like you just said, we know Truffaut is already URL certified, proven, his stock is in there. Because y'all do know, like, in order to sell stock in a company, because you guys know I do stock support. In order to sell stock in a company, you have to go through a process to go public. You can't just, like, be like, oh, I'm a company and then I'm going to sell stock. No, it has to be, you have to make a substantial amount of money every year. It has to be a history of it. Mm-hmm. A lot of business behind the scene, like you said, goes into owning and, like, being able to sell stock. So you have to control your stock. So yeah, do you feel like this is a prove? This is a way to like prove the pins?
I feel like these tournaments make you have to stay sharp. Like, here's the thing: 2 minutes ain't a lot of time. Okay, like you can count 2 minutes pretty fucking fast. So like the amount of materials you have to condense about somebody. Now remember, you're writing for one person, yes, but there's a 2 minute time constraint. That extra 3:30 or 4 minutes, like you don't you don't have that time. Give me once. Okay, he hung up. You don't have that time to build up. You have to learn how to attack. And back in the day, you had to keep raps on handy. You had to keep like 6, 7 of them things on you. And wherever you was at, niggas will pull up. Hey,
okay, time out. Stop right there, because this is why I'm confused about why people don't have material or why they show up to battles unprepared. Because once again, where I come from, you could be on a street corner. It's a Friday night, Saturday night. And this, I don't know, maybe this is New York shit. I don't know. But you could be out here, back in the day especially, you might have Diddy outside, you might have Jim Jones outside, you might have I'm not going to say a Chris Lighty, but you know, you might have
my little homie can spit
outside, and you might need to produce some shit. And that's how a lot of people used to get signed. Like, you would battle somebody and either you would beat them, or even if you didn't win, you were so fire that it's like, yo, somebody hollered at you and was like, yo, you should like. So I don't understand the lack of material, because if this is your sport and this is your profession, why don't we have this material?
I can explain this very easily.
Please do.
Battle rap has become about a popular character, not about actual skill. I'll elaborate. When you had to have raps on handy, that was a test of your skill. That was the test of mental fortitude to see how progressive are you in freestyling? How progressive are you in your penmanship? Mm-hmm. How complex are you to where you don't have to rap about the same thing over and over? Like, you don't have to use the same material over and over. Like, none of your raps sound the same. Like, you have diversity in your you know what I'm saying? You have alliteration